Everyone, American Sports 365. Here with me once again is my colleague Alex. So, Arsenal played two matches, two very different results and two very different performances. 4-0 win against PSV in the Champions League. It was a great performance in that match, and then quite a bad performance in the 2-2 draw at Tottenham, which is really unacceptable. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it, starting with the PSV match. So, as I said, Arsenal played really well in that match, beat PSV 4-0, and ended up getting 8 shots on target, so definitely could have scored more than 4 goals, so it's really good return to the Champions League for Arsenal. So, before we dive in deeper, what are your thoughts on Arsenal's 4-0 win against PSV?
Yeah, it was a great performance. I think it was our best performance of the season so far.
Yeah, it was a very good performance. Good to see Arsenal keep a clean sheet at home, too. Haven't really been enough of those lately, to be honest. And I think everyone seemed prepared, and the game plan worked very well. PSV ended up pressing Arsenal rather aggressively, which did not work out for them. I was pretty surprised to see them do that, to be honest. But yeah, it's a really good performance. So, in terms of defense, I said quite good. Kept a clean sheet game. Right ended up making 4 saves. Obviously kept clean sheet, and his distribution was good. Did a good job of cleaning crosses as well. And the entire back line played well, really limiting PSV's chances and not making any mistakes, and obviously also keeping clean sheet. I think in terms of the defense, I think Saliba was the best in that game against PSV, but everyone else played well, and Raya had another good game. So, what are your thoughts on Arsenal's defense against PSV?
Yeah, I mean, they were great. I mean, they kept a clean sheet, so there's not really anything negative you can possibly say about them.
Yeah, I don't think there's much negative to say. It was definitely good to see them keep a clean sheet, and especially look at PSV, and they're certainly not a weak team. They're currently leading the Dutch league, at the top of the table in the Dutch league, and this is their first defeat in 26 matches, I believe. So they're obviously a good team, but just got really dominant. Arsenal's defense really contributed to that. Now, in terms of the midfield against PSV, it's also very good. Rice and Odegaard were excellent. Rice protected the back line well and stopped several PSV counterattacks. And Odegaard was excellent as well. I think man of the match to me. Havertz also had a good game, and Odegaard scored Arsenal's 4th goal, so he really played well. Odegaard had 82 touches, 3 shots on target, 1 goal, completed 64 passes with 91% passing accuracy, and completed 5 long goals. And Odegaard also won 5 ground duels, so as you can see, it was an excellent game for him, an excellent game for Arsenal's midfield overall. So what are your thoughts on Arsenal's midfield against PSV?
Yeah, I mean, again, they were excellent, especially Odegaard and Rice. I mean, really, this performance was excellent throughout.
Yeah, I agree. Both of them played really well, and Rice has continued to play well in every single match since he joined the club. It's great to see that, and Odegaard's also had some great form as well. So yeah, it's good to see both of them play well. In terms of midfield, Arsenal also had the edge in terms of possession, 58% possession, which is good. And yeah, the midfield overall definitely controlled the game and helped Arsenal win. In terms of the attack, also uh, quite good. Saka got a goal and provided the assist for Trossard's goal. Trossard scored and provided the assist for Gabriel Jesus' goal. And of course, Gabriel Jesus scored, and then Reece Nelson came off the bench and provided the assist for Odegaard's goal. So overall, the attack was very good. It's also good to see Emil Smith Rowe finally get some minutes as well. I know some people have been wondering why he hasn't been playing, but he did play in this match and actually he contributed to Arsenal's fourth goal, even though he didn't actually get the assist. There did a good job of keeping the ball and then getting it to Nelson, who then provided the assist. So, yeah, the attack was very good. Like I said, 4 goals and 8 shots on target. What do you think of Arsenal's attack against PSV?
Yeah, I mean, putting 4 goals past a good side like PSG is a great performance. Again, it was great all around, and it was especially good to see Emil Smith Rowe finally get some minutes and play well. So hopefully, he gets more minutes going forward.
Yeah, hopefully. Obviously, PSV is a good side, but they really couldn't stop Arsenal's front three, or really Arsenal's attack in general in this game. And yeah, it's finally good to finally see Emil Smith Rowe get some minutes, because I feel like he always makes some type of impact off the bench, even though he didn't get any goal or assist to this game. Definitely made an impact. So yeah, good all around. Now, in terms of the manager rating for Arteta in this game, I said it had 9, although it could be higher, I suppose. But Arsenal played incredibly well and ended up keeping the clean sheet and just completely dominated PSV. Was a little bit concerned coming in just in terms of the nerves, because this is the first Champions League game for a lot of our players. A lot of them didn't have prior Champions League experience. Obviously, some of them, with Zinchenko and Jesus did, but Arsenal handled the pressure really well and yeah, put on a great performance. So subs definitely made an impact too. I mean, Reece Nelson got an assist, and Will Smith Rowe made an impact in the game as well. So really not much to criticize. So, what are your thoughts on Arteta's manager rating for the game against PSV?
Yeah, he was fantastic, just like the entire team. I mean, I'd give him probably a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think higher than 9 is definitely understandable. It's definitely quite good. Now, in terms of the game against Tottenham, pretty much the exact opposite of that. Performance was poor, result was poor. It ended up being 2-2. Yeah, it's not much positive to say about this. It's really frustrating result. Both goals scored by Tottenham are completely avoidable. One of them from a terrible mistake from a player who should be way too experienced to make that mistake. So yeah, really just frustrating. So before we go any deeper, what are your thoughts on the result against Tottenham?
Yeah, it was frustrating. It was a poor performance. I mean, Spurs are better than they have been, but we should certainly still be beating them. And to want to come out with a draw because Spurs scored one of the goals due to a terrible mistake is very frustrating.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a frustrating result. Performance was even worse than the result, to be honest. Yeah, really not good. Yeah, definitely a lot to work on. Now, in terms of the defense, had a really difficult time stopping Son. obviously he's an excellent player, but Arsenal really needed to slow him down a lot more than they did. Raya overall had a good game. Made 3 saves, including one really good save. His distribution could have been a little bit better. Um, in terms of the defense, just really struggled with Son. I think William Sleeve was the best of the Arsenal back line. I was kind of surprised not to see Ramsdale start in goal, to be honest, in this game. Defense overall, like I said, really not good enough, and especially not good enough in terms of containing Young and Son. So, what are your thoughts on Arsenal's defense in this game against Tottenham?
Yeah, it was quite poor, with the exception of Saliba. Specifically, we definitely should have done a better job containing Son. I think that's partly on our defenders and partly, on the manager for not coming up with better tactics to contain Son. So after the defense played so well in the match against PSV, it was very disappointing to see them follow it up with a quite poor performance against Spurs.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened with that. It was the same players in the fixture today. Obviously, Son playing at center forward is slightly different, but just didn't really seem prepared for that challenge. So definitely disappointing overall. I think Raya and Saliba were the standout players from Arsenal's defense. Still not really good enough. Now, in terms of the midfield, again, can't really say much positive. Odegaard followed up his man of the match performance, at least in my view, against PSV with a terrible performance. Didn't really make much impact in the game throughout. Kai Havertz and Xavi Vera didn't really do much, and Rice did play well in Arsenal's midfield, but unfortunately he had to be substituted at halftime due to an injury, and then Jorginho came on and basically within 10 minutes made a mistake that led to Tottenham's second goal, so he wasn't prepared for the challenge apparently. I know he hasn't played much lately, but still would expect way better from him. Arsenal's midfield against Tottenham was pretty terrible, to be honest. So what are your thoughts on Arsenal's midfield against Tottenham?
Yeah, it was very poor with the exception of Rice. Rice was kind of holding the midfield together until he got injured, and after that, things kind of fell apart. If he hadn't gotten injured, I think we almost certainly still would have won the match. Odegaard was quite disappointing after playing so well against PSV. He's usually a lot more consistent than he was earlier in his career, but occasionally his form will dip for, no understandable reason. Hopefully this won't happen again anytime soon. And I think Jorginho was certainly lacking match sharpness. Obviously he's not as good as Rice, but it's not like he's a terrible player. He's a good player. He just hadn't really gotten very many minutes in a long time, and I think that showed, unfortunately.
I agree. I think, it's definitely clear that Jorginho hasn't played in a while, but honestly, still should not be making a mistake like that. And I think, despite the fact that I think multiple areas were a bit lacking, I think Arsenal probably would have been able to come out and at least scrape by a 3-2 win or something if Rice had continued playing in the midfield, because he was basically holding it together, and then after he had to be substituted at halftime, things just kind of went off the rails after that. It's definitely disappointing parts overall in midfield, and I'm starting to lose patience a bit with Kai Havertz. I think I've been nicer to him than a lot of people. I know a lot of people have already been criticizing him very harshly. I'm starting to lose patience with him a little bit. I tried to be kind to the players and give them chances. And I know it's still early on in the season, but he really hasn't made the kind of impact that his price tag would suggest that he should, and didn't really do much in this game against Tottenham. And I really need him to actually show me something, because even though he didn't start in this game, I'm kind of wondering why he's even playing at the moment, because he hasn't really made that much of an impact overall lately. Even though I did think he had a pretty good game against PSV, did basically nothing against Tottenham. So yeah, I think if the midfield is fully fit, I don't know how much of a place there is for Havertz in there, unless he starts playing much better. Now, in terms of the attack, also not really great. Saka overall played well. He scored a penalty and contributed to Moreno's own goal. It's his strike that led to the own goal. So he did well. Jesus missed a really big chance in the first half, which obviously later came back to hurt Arsenal quite a bit. And Nketiah didn't do much at all, and he received a yellow card for a bad challenge. I know there are some people who are saying he should have got red for that. I don't know about that, but yeah, it really didn't make much positive impact. So I think the attack could have been much better. I think if the attack was a lot more clinical in the first half, then Arsenal probably would go on to win the match. What are your thoughts on Arsenal's attack in this match?
Yeah, disappointing like the rest of the team. I think, well, Nketiah's, not really good enough for Arsenal. He's probably a mid-table level player. And Jesus isn't quite back to his best yet, I don't think. He hasn't really been able to get his match sharpness up with a consistent run of games quite yet due to some injuries, but I think he'll be back to his best soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Jesus getting back to form is definitely something Arsenal need. Like I said, I think Saka played well. Nketiah did basically nothing aside from getting that yellow card. It's hard to even recognize that he was playing sometimes. Yeah, I think Nketiah probably needs to be replaced. There's talk of Ivan Toney. Arsenal getting Ivan Toney in January, which definitely seems like something that needs to happen to me. And Arsenal missing Trossard was a big deal. I think he probably would have helped Arsenal win this game, so it's definitely a concern in terms of his injury. Hopefully it's not that bad. From the description, it doesn't sound that bad, but Arsenal definitely need Jesus back to his full sharpness, and definitely need Trossard fit, because both can really make a huge impact on matches. So, in terms of managing for Arteta, yeah, not very good. I think he basically got most of the subs wrong, I would say. He substituted Jesus on and replaced Reece Nelson. Reece Nelson. And he brought on Reece Nelson to replace Jesus. Excuse me. Even though Nketiah was the one not really doing much. And something on Jorginho backfired almost immediately, and Smith Rowe only got a few minutes at the end of the game. Stoppage time, though I think he definitely deserved more minutes after how he played against PSV, and probably could have made a bigger impact